So let me tell y'all about part two of my domestic violence journey as a human being on this earth, right? When I was 16, I was in the house babysitting my younger siblings, my cousins. I think it was just one of my aunt's children's there. Well, no, one of my aunts, two of her children were there, or maybe one. And then my siblings, my mom and her sisters went out to the club. And I was the babysitter. It had come to the point, it was in the winter too, in South Florida. So, but back then in the winter, it got a little colder. I don't know what's going on nowadays. But anyway, it was bedtime. We had gone to sleep, everybody sleep. And I had fallen asleep in my brother's room for some reason. And I woke up to a breeze. A breeze was just like hitting me, and it was like gently waking me up. And I'm like, why is the window open? Why is the window open? So I get up. I see the windows bust out. It's glass all over the floor. My mom's not back home yet. I call her immediately. I'm like, Mom, somebody bust the windows out that door. And I went in her room. Somebody bust the windows out her room too. So it was just the back windows that were facing the street, because our house, the back of the house was facing like the major street behind us. So somebody threw a brick in each window, both rooms in the back. So I'm like, I'm shook. I'm 16. I'm shook. I'm thinking somebody in the house. I'm scared. I'm like, somebody in the... So she in the background talking to her sisters, because all of them went to the club together. And she's like, oh, he bust my windows out. He bust my windows out. So while they're at the club, her and her current husband get into an argument or fight because he thinks that she's flirting with somebody, from what I understand, or she's talking to somebody a little bit too comfortably. This is the backstory that I get. And one of my aunties like bust him upside the head with a bottle and whatnot. But this man who my mama ended up marrying was a former crackhead. Now, I didn't find out that this man was a former crackhead until later on in life. And I'm just like, but why? However, he had cleaned his life up, and he was a working man at the end of the day. However, he was very abusive. After this event, this man came back and he wanted to talk about it and whatnot. And they're outside having a conversation. So I came outside and I'm like, I'm on some Melina type stuff, if you know what I mean. And he talking to me like, oh, what you gonna do with that? And my mama like, go back in the house. And I'm like, go back in the house? He like, what you gonna do with that? And I'm like, sir, please don't make me show you what I could do with this. Please don't make me inform you and enlighten you what I could do with this. And needless to say, she got back with him after that. She was like, oh, he said he ain't do it. We had to call the police and everything. And that's when I learned that you can't get fingerprints off of bricks. That's what the police said. Oh, you can't get fingerprints off of bricks. And I'm like, this must have been already known information, because you used the brick to throw in someone's window, mind you, with children in the house. It was child endangerment. It was just so many things, and a disregard for our lives. But I'm not sure if they knew we were there or not, but that's neither here nor there. You knew that children lived in that house. And the fact that you threw bricks into a house where children lived is crazy, you know? But she was saying that it was his girlfriend, because this man ended up having a baby with another woman. And I remember that day vividly. Like, we were on our way to church. He decided to leave or whatever, and he was gonna move with his baby mama because he had gotten her pregnant while he was married to my mama. And my mama, he was like he leaving, so he had packed his stuff. And after they done got back together and separated, because my mama had already decided she wasn't having any more children, so he wanted her to have a baby, and she was not able to. So he got this other girl pregnant, which the baby's here, she actually had the baby or whatever. But this particular day was a Sunday, and we were on our way to church. And instead of us going directly to church, we took a different route. So my mom knew where this lady lived at. So we went to the lady's house just to drive by after he left our house, after packing all his stuff. And there he was, unpacking his stuff and bringing it in her house. And he just stopped and stared like, and I was just like, so he bust the windows out. You let him back in, and then he left. I don't get left, I'm gonna leave him. I live by that. But no, like, just seeing how much you willing to forgive a man is crazy after he's shown you what he's willing to do to you. Leave the first time. I'm going to tell y'all right now. Leave the first time. She came in. She had a black eye. It's like, leave the first time. Leave the first time before you have to end up hurting somebody. Just leave, But I see him from time to time now. And he always speaks to me. But I just think about all the times where he was there and it was just aggravating. But he never did nothing in front of me. Like, he would never put his hands on my mama in front of me. Because I feel like if he thought that he could, he probably should have thought again. But the fact that I'm sitting here trying to defend my mother and she's like, oh, don't worry about it going to the house. And I'm like, what you mean going to the house? If you in a domestic violence relationship right now, baby, leave quietly and leave all those items that you got there. And if you don't want to leave your items that you got there, baby, slowly move them out over a week. You got a week to leave. Get up out of there. And I know right now in 2025, it's very hard. Bills are expensive. The tariff have raised the price of food and all the other things that we need that are necessities. Families need to come together because when you're in an abusive relationship, you don't have anyone to turn to sometimes. And sometimes your family sit right there and watch you while you getting the life beat out of you, while you getting the life squeezed out of you. They'll be some family be happy you going through something because they don't like you anyway. Get out of the situation, sweetheart, sir or ma'am, because men be in domestic violence relationships too. Get out of the situation. Do not stay. They not going to change. They're not going to change. They will not change. Do you hear me? They will not change. Leave expeditiously. Leave. That's part 2 of my domestic violence story of how I got in all these different situations. Just crazy, just the normality of being abused. The normality of it all. Y'all, leave. I'm telling you, not everybody is against you. It's somebody who want to help you, but you got to want to help you. You have to want to help you, okay? Help yourself.